Sometimes plebs come up to me to show me their newest apps, meaningful tats, funny hats, pet-like rats, and muscular abs. I always respond by saying, that's cool and all, but do you know maps? Well, if you don't know maps, you will at least know about one after this video. The Salter World Map. And I know looking at it right now, you might be thinking one of two things. 1, what the fuck? 2, I am definitely not becoming a Christian, so don't even try. Alright, I won't, I swear. But before we are coming to the fun part, we have to, the good students that we are, answer the most important W questions about the Salter map. When was it made? Between 1262 and 1280. Who made it? Nobody knows, stop asking. Where was it found? In a psalter, which is a book containing Christian songs or poems. What kind of map is it? It is a so-called mappa mundi. As you can see, the map isn't particularly accurate in a geographical sense. Why? Because it was never intended to be used that way. The map should rather be utilized as a visualization of Christian texts. After clearing up the basics, let's take a look at this sucker. Like most Christian medieval maps, this one too is based on the T and O scheme. The O stands for the encircling ocean that is supposed to surround the entire known world. The T stands for the bodies of water dividing the three known continents Asia, Europe, and Africa. Those bodies of water are the Mediterranean Sea, the Nile, and the Don River. By the way, if we are already at the topic, every now and then I hear people say that medieval people believed that the world was flat and rectangular. That's wrong. Medieval people, at least educated ones, were very aware of the fact that the earth was round and spheric. The next confusing element is the way the map is rotated. Normally Europe would be in the north and Africa in the south, right? But this map was oriented and not north, and because the salvation story of Jesus Christ took place in the east. This is also why we have Jerusalem, the holy city, in the dead center of the map. Fittingly, Jesus appears also above the east. In contrast to Jesus, the map also symbolizes hell underneath the world with the depiction of two dragons. Anyways, let's take a stroll around the map, and since we are already in the east, why not start right here? Right beneath Jesus, we see this. It is a depiction of paradise, and in it, we can see Adam and Eve, but also the tree of knowledge of good and evil dividing them. It also shows that rivers like the Ganges, Euphrates, and Tigris have their origin in paradise. Let's move on to the northeast. Here we can find Noah's Ark on Mount Ararat. Left from it we can see some sort of gate, and what appears to be a wall or mountain chain. This is a reference to the story of Alexander the Great, who reportedly imprisoned Gog and Magog somewhere in this region. Christians believed that those two would break out from their enclosure as soon as the Antichrist would appear. Next, we'll look at the northwestern part, which portrays Europe. There is not too much interesting going on here, but we can at least say that Europe is portrayed fairly detailed and proportionately. Of course, the eternal city of Rome and Greece are most prominently displayed. After sailing across the Mediterranean Sea, we find ourselves in Africa, where we can surprisingly visit the city of Carthage, despite the fact that it was destroyed by Rome almost 1.5 millennia ago. If we move further south, we come to one of my favorite parts. The so-called monstrous people. They really don't have any connection to the biblical texts, but they show that the creator of the map compensated for his lack of knowledge with an unhealthy amount of creativity. The first two people depicted are dog-headed cannibals. The next ones are the Artobotitus, which are people walking on all four legs. The second guy is even riding a goddamn goat. After those two would have the headless people, which look absolutely hilarious to me, especially the first guy. But that's enough curiosity for me, so let's move on. Before we can finish our circle, we come to the Red Sea, which interestingly enough, is actually colored red. But here we are again in paradise, where we also want to end this video. Finally, I am hoping for two things. One, that you considered this video at least mildly entertaining, and secondly, that you have a pleasant day. Bye.